What if your reality is just a story your brain tells you? Sounds unsettling, almost impossible. After all, when you open your eyes in the morning, the world seems to simply be there, solid, unquestionable, ready to be lived. But what if much of what you call reality is not what exists out there, but what your brain constructs in here? Every sight, every sound, every thought is filtered before you ever experience it. You are not encountering the world directly, you are meeting it through a tunnel woven of beliefs, expectations, culture, language, and memory. And here's the strange part: no two tunnels are exactly alike. My world is not your world, and your world is not mine. We live side by side, yet inhabit entirely different universes of meaning. This idea was popularized by the writer and philosopher Robert Anton Wilson, who called them reality tunnels. According to him, most of what we take for objective truth is simply the version of reality our nervous system and our conditioning allow us to perceive. In other words, reality itself may be infinite, but the slice you experience is limited, filtered, and shaped into a story. So the question is, if reality is a story, then who's writing it? To understand reality tunnels, we first need to face a strange fact. Your brain never gives you reality raw. When light enters your eyes, it doesn't deliver a picture. It delivers electrical signals. The brain stitches these signals together into an image, filling in gaps and smoothing over chaos. When sound waves strike your ears, they're nothing but vibrations. It is the brain that interprets them into voices, music, or meaning. Even more striking, experiments in neuroscience reveal that the brain edits your experience before you're even aware of it. For example, when you see something and hear something at slightly different times, the brain automatically synchronizes them so you believe they happen together. You're living in a carefully curated illusion. Philosophers have warned us about this for centuries. Immanuel Kant argued that we never experience the world as it is, but only as it appears through the categories of our mind. More recently, Thomas Nagel asked, "What is it like to be a bat?" The question was not about bats at all, but about perspective. We can never truly escape the filter of our own minds. And yet, most of us walk through life assuming we see the world as it really is. That's where the trap lies. We confuse our personal construction with objective truth. This is why disagreements can feel so bewildering. Two people can witness the same event but describe it in radically different ways, because they are perceiving through different tunnels. One person's fact is another person's illusion. The neuroscientist Anil Seth calls perception a controlled hallucination. It's not that reality doesn't exist, it's that what you perceive is always a best guess, a story your brain is constantly editing and refining. And that brings us to Robert Anton Wilson's insight. Your beliefs don't just color reality, they literally shape the tunnel you walk through. Robert Anton Wilson coined the term reality tunnel to describe this phenomenon. Each of us lives inside a mental corridor shaped by our beliefs, experiences, and expectations. We think we're seeing the world, but really, we're seeing our version of it, a tunnel carved by the mind. Imagine two people standing side by side, watching the same sunset. One sees a random play of gas and photons, a scientific spectacle explained by physics. The other sees divine artistry, proof of a higher intelligence. The sunset is the same, but the reality each person lives in could not be more different. Their tunnels filter the same light into two distinct worlds. These tunnels are built early. Childhood, culture, education, trauma, religion, politics, all leave their mark. If you grew up in a family that viewed the world as dangerous, you may carry a tunnel filled with suspicion and caution. If you were raised to see the world as abundant, your tunnel might be filled with opportunity and trust. The crucial insight Wilson offered is this: we don't live in reality, we live in the reality we can perceive. Beliefs act like lenses on a camera, focusing attention here, blurring it there, shaping every story we tell ourselves. This isn't just philosophy, it's psychology. Cognitive science calls it confirmation bias, the tendency to notice information that fits our beliefs and ignore what doesn't. Once a tunnel is established, it becomes self-reinforcing. A pessimist finds reasons to be pessimistic. An optimist discovers evidence of hope. Each believes they're being objective, but they're simply inhabiting different tunnels. The danger is mistaking the tunnel for the territory. Wilson warned that if you forget you're inside a tunnel, you become trapped. You argue endlessly, convinced your perspective is the truth, while dismissing others as deluded. But once you recognize the tunnel for what it is, everything shifts. Suddenly, disagreement becomes less threatening. You realize the other person isn't blind or malicious. They're simply walking through their own corridor of experience. Compassion emerges, not from forced morality, but from this recognition. We are all tunnel builders, each peering through a different lens. And if tunnels are constructed, they can also be reconstructed. This is where freedom begins. Once you realize you're living in a reality tunnel, the next question becomes, can I ever leave it? The answer isn't simple, because your tunnel isn't just a belief, it feels like reality. When you're inside it, everything you see seems to confirm it. Your brain reinforces the story. And like a dream you don't know you're dreaming, you can live your whole life inside a mental construct, thinking it's the truth. But here's the good news. The moment you notice the tunnel, you've already stepped outside of it, if only by an inch. This is the beginning of metacognition, the ability to observe your own thoughts. It's the quiet, powerful realization. Oh, that's just a belief. That's just my brain making a prediction. That's not the truth. That's just a lens. And when you reach that moment, the tunnel cracks open. From a neuroscience perspective, this is your prefrontal cortex coming online. It's the part of your brain responsible for reflection, for holding two perspectives at once. It gives you the power to step back and watch the mental movie instead of being lost inside it. From a spiritual perspective, traditions have called this awakening. To the mystic, it's the witness behind thought. To the Buddhist, it's the space between stimulus and response. To the psychologist, it's cognitive flexibility, the ability to say, maybe my model is wrong. Maybe there's more. So how do we strengthen this ability? 1. Mindfulness. Mindfulness isn't about clearing your mind. It's about seeing it clearly. When a thought arises, I'm not good enough, people can't be trusted, I'll never succeed, you pause. You don't fight it. You just watch. And suddenly, a miracle happens. You realize you are not the thought. You are the one noticing it. 2. Expose yourself to new tunnels. Talk to people you disagree with, not to argue, but to listen. Read books outside your belief system, not to abandon your truth, but to expand it. Every time your brain encounters prediction error, something it didn't expect, it has a choice: resist or evolve. 3. Ask better questions. Instead of, is this true? Ask, what tunnel am I in? What's the belief underneath this reaction? What would the opposite perspective look like? And can I try it on? Over time, you begin to see reality not as a fixed object, but as a vast, shimmering field of possibilities. Your tunnel becomes more spacious, and instead of being a prisoner, you become the architect. If reality tunnels are unavoidable, and if everyone lives inside one, then the real question isn't, how do I escape? It all comes down to this: which tunnel do I want to live in? Robert Anton Wilson once said, reality is what you can get away with. Meaning, the stories we choose to believe become the ground we walk on, the air we breathe, the possibilities we see. Your brain, remember, is a prediction machine. It constructs your future based on the patterns it expects. So when you change the narrative lens, the tunnel you look through, you're not just changing your perception. You're changing the trajectory of your life. From neuroscience, this is called neuroplasticity, the ability of your brain to rewire itself with new thoughts, new habits, and new experiences. From spirituality, it's called faith, the leap into a new possibility before you see the proof. From psychology, it's called reframing, the art of telling a new story about the same event. Here's the key insight: you don't need to prove the tunnel true before you live in it. Living in it makes it true. Think of someone who believes, the world is against me. Every event confirms it. A stranger frowns, a job rejection comes, and the tunnel tightens. But shift the belief to, The world is a teacher, always guiding me. Suddenly the same events look different. The stranger's frown is compassion fatigue. The job rejection is redirection. Same reality, different tunnel. So what tunnel could you choose consciously today? A tunnel of gratitude, where every moment is a gift. A tunnel of possibility, where every obstacle hides a lesson. A tunnel of connection, where every human being reflects part of yourself. This doesn't mean ignoring suffering or denying pain. It means refusing to be trapped in a tunnel that shrinks you. It means choosing one that expands you, a tunnel that lets in more light. And perhaps the greatest realization of all is this: you're not limited to just one. The more aware you become, the more you can shift tunnels at will, slipping between perspectives, testing different lenses, like an artist mixing colors on a palette. Because reality isn't fixed. It's a dance between your mind and the mystery of existence. And the tunnel you choose becomes the world you walk through. If this expanded your perspective, consider subscribing and ringing the bell. We're just getting started on exploring the mysteries of the mind and spirit. And I'd love to hear from you. What's one belief that completely shapes how you see the world?